Okay, short watch list for tomorrow. One of them is FIO, watching for a bounce after the gap up on big volume. A lot of shorts in this one. We've had a couple consecutive lower days here as far as closes go. So if this can trade in narrow range and break its early high, we might get a nice trade. As an example, we had CLF today, kind of the same scenario. You had the big pop, then a lower volume red day. This was on our watch list video last night. On an intraday basis, I'll show you how I called it today. I think I actually posted the idea on StockTwitch, which I don't usually find the time to do because I'm running the chat room, but I had time. 5-minute candles here look like this. Here's the early high, 2059, and you had this sideways move. So I called it 2055 with a 2039 stop. So right, basically a base break, and you had the high of day just to the left. So there's another potential catalyst. I'm a big fan of what we call stacked catalysts. If you break this base, probably going to get through the high of the day. You had a nice short squeeze a few sessions ago. So a good chance 2055 gets us some momentum, and here's exactly what happened. There's the base break. About 10 minutes later, we hit the new highs ticker and just keep grinding higher all the way to that hole number 21. Which is where I took a big chunk off and then trail stopped on the rest. So a decent little trade. That's kind of what I was talking about on the FIO deal for tomorrow. Something similar to that. A lower volume stock, YELP, kind of interesting here. Again, you have a recent high right here. You kind of had a flag and it broke it. Now you can see the volume. You can see how 1 million shares is kind of, it's not huge, but it's still big volume for this stock. I don't like calling thinner stocks like this, but you know what? It doesn't cost me anything to have that one on a chart, so I will be watching it. Expedia, this isn't a pretty daily chart now, but you have some support here around 55, and you've got 2 big down days. I mean, this was 65 going into earnings, and it's down $9 in 2 sessions, so this is worth watching for a bounce play for tomorrow. I'm thinking long tomorrow, just for a trade, just for an intraday trade, and only with a proper setup. Let's see what else we have here. JCP, unfortunately, had this on long watch for today. Unfortunately, it gapped up, and I was hoping for just kind of a flat open with yesterday's close, and then maybe a nice long setup, but we just didn't get it. And then WLT I have in my notes. Now, there's nothing pretty about this chart. They pre-announced on this day, and it gapped up to whatever it was, 26 bucks. Selling ever since. Then you get a small bounce and right back down. But they have earnings. I believe it's Wednesday after the close, if I'm not mistaken. And so you've got 2 sessions. You've got Tuesday and Wednesday into earnings. Now, shorts have had their fun with this thing, and it's possible that even lousy earnings or even a miss, this one still might go up. You ever see something miss and it goes up and you scratch your head, and sometimes something has great earnings and it goes down. Sometimes it's just baked in. So this one's interesting and may get a nice move over the next day or two. Certainly be watching it for an intraday setup. And one other reason I like it is because CLF, another coal name, was beaten up into earnings, and it looked like this the day they came out with earnings, and you got the gap up. So, a lot of people know that, and WLT may start to move higher, maybe some short covering into earnings. So it's a short list, and I'm going to leave it at that because I'm sure we'll find some volume plays in the morning for the chat room to add to our watch list. So this is I like to start with a fairly small list because I know we'll find things as the day progresses. And you know what? If you have 20 or 30 stocks on your watch list, you'll almost be watching them all trigger. You'll be watching too much and you won't be able to catch anything. So like to start with a small list and then build as the day goes on. So all right, I'm going to quit babbling and we'll see everybody tomorrow.